Hey everyone, welcome to Studio 89 Design Studio. This is Richmond speaking, your resident architect. In this video, I want to show you guys how to do a 3D floor plan using ArchiCAD. Now, in my previous video, I showed you I made a sort of like a process of how I created this sort of like house module, and this is the ArchiCAD model that I created. There's going to be other models which are laid side by side to this one, but that's neither here nor there. So let's just get into this process, which I'm going to be going into right now. Now, with that said, the element that we are going to be using for this type of system is called the 3D cutaway. For the 3D floor plans, it's the 3D cutaway. In order to bring it into view, you can click on this element, or you can say Control Y to toggle it back into view once again, and you can see on the four sides of my viewport are these sort of like scissors with lines cutting through them. Now you can drag this element. I'm missing something, so I wanna switch off. Or there you go. Now, as you can see, I'm starting from the top and then going down until I get my sort of like desired level of which I want to cut through it. So I just want to cut around this area, or even I can even go further up and say I'm gonna cut around this area, but you know, there's not much showing from the point, so I'm gonna go down to around window height and just above sort of like the kitchen counter level, and yeah, that's where I think it will be viable to cut from. And then I just click, because I was holding all this time, and then I can click at any point. So I think I want to click at about this point. I'm going to try it again. And there you go. And I can click O. This is my shortcut for see. Now it's doing something that I don't want it to do, so I'm gonna try again. Should be around the windows right there. It's quite easy to use. And then I can click Control Y to opt out of that, and then Control Y to opt back into that view, and then I can say orbit, and then I can just click finalize to have that as sort of like a permanent level of which I'm cutting from. I think that's it from this point on. But the other thing is, if you really want to make your sort of like levels look quite, you know, well planned or well prepared, what you will want to do is to go ahead and add in some details to the floor layout. Maybe obviously on that area we can put wood, and then on this area we can put sort of like tiles. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do exactly that. So I'm gonna go back to my floor plan, which is I'm going to be pressing F2 on my keyboard, and then I'm gonna go to the navigation here, and then I am going to click the floor slab. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and create openings in the floor slab. So openings like this. So I know exactly where I want to cut around the floor slabs area. These areas for me are the areas where I want to put in my where I want to put in some tile finish to the floor. Go back to where it began, and then go tile. So I'm gonna go for the classical brown tile, and there you go. So there's a differentiation between the two, but overall I want this to be sort of like vertical mahogany. Now vertical mahogany looks a bit sort of like disgusting right now. I can use most probably a much bigger tile, but I think I can go with a horizontal mahogany. I don't think it's that bad. That's quite fine with me. And then obviously for the garage, the garage, the garage, we're gonna sort of like create that same sort of like opening, but this time I want to start from the back here, and then I want to use the geometrical method rotated rectangular, because I can click 2 points and then just take it all the way through, and then I can once again come in and fill in that area which I just took out. And now I want to create sort of like a concrete floor. So I can go back to 3D by pressing F3, escape, and then pressing F3. As you can see, that's exactly what happened. I don't know if I should put a car in this area, so I can take one of these sort of like this furniture piece, and then what I will do is I'll just raise it up just a little bit to that point, and then I'll go to 3D car. I just want to see if maybe I can get a car that is not sort of like cutting away. So, and then I just changed the layer to a car so that I can easily control it later on. And then I'm going to go visuals, site improvement, people and vehicles, and I'm gonna start off with this one, and then I'm gonna go to the floor layout by pressing F2, and then I'm just gonna put a car right in that space. Go 3D, figure out, okay, so this one is not working out, so maybe let's just toggle to some other cars to see if we can get a car that actually works. I doubt we're gonna get a car that actually works because of the height issue. So we might as well do away with this car, so I can just isolate this and then just switch it off from the view right here. So now we just got this in place, and you can either choose two options when you are trying to render this. So you can either choose the isometric view by pressing Ctrl F3, or you can use the perspective, Shift F3, which is my preferred. I know people in Revit who would rather use this type of a view. It looks ugly to me, doesn't really make sense. I can't really work with this personally. It looks a bit distorted. So when I'm gonna go Control F2, no, not Control F2, Control F4. Do I have it wrong? It is Control F3. Also, it toggles between the two views. So Control F3 once again. So it doesn't toggle. Or Shift F3. My bad. I like using shortcuts. So I can click that car once again and switch it off the actual layer, and that's how you would want to do sort of like a 3D floor plan from that point on. And then you can just set up your sun dialog. So let's just go to the floor plane first, and then we can set up sort of like the view. I also want to switch off the trace reference at this moment in time, and then go back to my 3D floor layout, and then I can go to 3D projection settings, or Control Shift F3. I'm just going to click the icon right here and then set my sort of like my sun sort of like angle, and then maybe make the angles sun latitude a bit higher. I'm not somewhere around 75 degrees, and then I can go ahead and click this photo rendering settings, and then also switch on the guidelines for my renderings view so that I know exactly where are the areas which I'm going to be rendering in. So these are the guidelines, so I want everything to fall in line, and then I can sort of like create a sort of like a preview of what is going to be happening on my model, and that's basically it, right? So I can just do that. Okay guys, we are back. This is the final render. Obviously what you can do, you can always set it up in such a manner that you can have your shadows showing a bit better than how I'm showing them right now, but that is really up to you and how you want to manage your project from that point on. But that's it with the ArchiCAD portion of it. So if you just control and save this, you can save it as part of this sort of like series of renders. So this is going to be number 3, and then I'm going to switch this off. Now there's another option for you to do. You can also, let me just raise this up just a little bit so that it's out of view, and also I would like to delete this this kitchen table, this dining room table, and I think everything else is fine with me, except for the fact that we don't have a staircase currently, but that's something that you can solve on your own using ArchiCAD. Now what you want to do is you can save this as an Atlantis project, which you can then send to Atlantis, and then populate it in Atlantis, populate the furniture in Atlantis and everything like that, if you really want to go that route. But for me, I'm currently using Lumion, so I'm just gonna send it to Collada. It's a Collada file, and then I'm just gonna save it as a 2019 November 21 a Lumion render. I'm gonna get in there. So Oakland floor plan, or maybe let's just say 3D floor plan, and now it's safe. What you can do now is you can just go to your Lumion. I'm not going to choose the plain one because I don't want to see the grass. What I want to choose, maybe I'm going to choose the white space, and I know this is Lumion 8. There is we are currently on Lumion 10 in the market right now, but I'm going to be upgrading in a later stage, not at the current moment. So now what you want to do is you want to bring in that model. So you want to bring it in as an import, and then you can just import new model, and then you can just go to the same directory from which you have saved that model. So it's under renders, Lumion render, and this is the Collada file. It's a DAE file, and then you just say okay, and then you can just bring it in to Lumion. I don't have to teach you guys how to use Lumion. Lumion is really up to you guys, for you to go out there and learn Lumion on your own, and then 3D. And then you can navigate around and see exactly what you want. For me, I really want to pick this up, so I'm just gonna change height, and then from my point of reference, which is right here, I can just raise it up so that it's off the ground. So I want something like that. With that said, now we can set up maybe for like an area which is best suitable for me to render from. So I can switch to photo, and then I can sort of like navigate around, find the right sort of like space for me, and then I can just take a picture over there. At the same time, I want to go back. No, this is fine. What I want to do is I want to custom style. The custom style that I want, not the custom style, but add effect. The effect that I want most probably will be 2-point perspective. Let's switch it on. Yeah, 2-point perspective is probably not a good idea for this one, so I'm gonna switch that back off. And then I'm just gonna sort of like align it properly the way I want. There you go. And then you can just go ahead and set it up yourself. You can sort of like populate it by, you know, adding a car. So here, this is furniture. Here's a car right here. So instead of a boat, we're gonna go look for cars, and let's just look for sort of like some form of like a generic car. And then you can just go ahead and work your magic in Lumion. Whether you want to rotate it or not, it's really up to you. And you can set up your textures. Obviously, I'm just want to use glass for this one, and can make it either reflective or transparent, whatever. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create something very generic at this point in time. So I'm gonna be time-lapsing this. So guys, I'm done, and this is the final product of how you can set up your own sort of like 3D floor plan in ArchiCAD. But obviously now I've moved on further. I've eventually created an sort of like a Revit. No, what am I talking about? I've actually created a Lumion 3D floor plan by populating it in Lumion, and also giving it more texture is indicated. The difference between the two, the ArchiCAD and the Lumion one, is quite well defined, as you can see. Not much beautiful texture on ArchiCAD, but a lot more texture when it comes to